Hello, YouTube! I'm back on this channel, the Monoxide 8-digit number. This is going to be my yearly video. Goodbye, whatever year we're in, and hello to the new year we're in. This is goodbye 2011, hello 2012. I've not been really up to making videos this year. Reason is because there's nothing really to talk about. Other than the CM Punk angle that happened in the early summer, nothing really has happened within 2010, and especially with the YWC. I went to Atlanta, Georgia for WrestleMania. I would say the trip was pretty good. It wasn't as good as Phoenix. There's personal reasons towards that, but I'm not going to get into them. But WrestleMania is usually a fun time. There's always something good you're going to get out of WrestleMania, especially like in Phoenix. I would say Phoenix was the flawless of the two. That was a perfect trip. But that's going back to 2010. Let's talk about 2011 for a bit before I get into 2012. So yeah, I had the WrestleMania trip. Went to that. I actually enjoyed WrestleMania more than the others did. Probably because I enjoyed Taker Triple H more than everybody else did. And I don't know why. I thought that match was really good. I even gave it the 5 stars. I thought Triple H and Undertaker did exactly what it needed to do. It told a story in the ring. Triple H did his... I think this is Triple H's philosophy. But Triple H pulled his philosophy, which... This is one thing I'll credit Triple H on. He is absolutely correct on this philosophy, and that is less is more. And this match proved it. Less is more. You don't have to do all this crazy shit. Now, granted, I'm a Ring of Honor mark, but that's a completely different style. A completely different style. All wrestling promotions are going to have a completely different style. Or a completely main focal point style. And WWE's is really storytelling. And Triple H, as much as I don't like what he does to hurt talent, one thing he can do is storytell. And him and Undertaker, they did a good job. I thought they did a good job. I thought that match was 5 stars. I was there live, and I enjoyed it. There wasn't really much going on in the year. I mean, we started off with the year with The Miz as the champion. And as you all know, I'm a big Miz fan. He has kind of died down quite a bit ever since Punk had gotten really hot, which I'm going to get to in a second. Miz, again, I don't think Miz is as, and this is on a serious note, I don't think Miz is as bad as everybody gives him, that people keep saying he is. He obviously can carry himself on the mic. The problem is not him. The problem is how they book him. And if they would book him a little bit more properly, he could withstand being in the ring with guys like John Cena, like The Rock, etc. I'm not saying he's better than them. I'm saying he can hold his own. And I do believe he has that potential because he has done mic work that shows that this guy has the tools. Del Rio is the same thing. He has the look. I don't think he really has the mic skills. I think that's Miz's department. He's the better wrestler of the two. But Del Rio has that look to him that just screams top heel. And I think Del Rio has been on this weird push because, again, throughout the beginning of the year, he had been scheduled to win the title on numerous occasions, and they kept bumping it back until he finally won it at SummerSlam. Of course, we had the CM Punk angle that happened. We also had an R-Truth heel turn, which I thought was the best for R-Truth's career because ever since he became a heel, R-Truth has been one of my favorite heels to watch in WWE. Although now he's probably face. That's a whole nother ballgame. But ever since he turned heel, he has been funny. He's been interesting. He's been entertaining. I purposely force myself to watch Raw sometimes just so that I can see the R-Truth segment. That's how much I think R-Truth is that entertaining. R-Truth has become that much of an entertaining heel to me. But, you have to excuse me, I'm very sick right now. I think I'm catching a cold. But anyways, so, we had the CM Punk shoot promo. I remember watching this. I was talking to Kristen on Skype. We were kind of texting each other on Skype. And I remember seeing this promo. And I didn't go crazy for it right in the beginning. Like, this is how it exactly happened. I kind of have the promo memorized. When Punk had his legs crossed and he said, "I am the best wrestler in the world," I kind of raised my eyebrow because I thought they had banned that word and now they're action soap opera or sports and they're not allowed to call each other wrestler. So when he said wrestler, that kind of caught my eye. I was like, okay, let me see where he's going with this. And he referred to The Rock as Dwayne, which was a little bit, whoa. I mean, he said that before the wrestler thing, but what really caught my eye, obviously, was the remark where he said, "I'm leaving with the title on July 17th, and hell, who knows? Maybe I'll go defend it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor." When he said that, now, mind you, I hadn't have remembered, I don't think I saw it when it happened, the Matt Hardy segment where he said Ring of Honor as well. So this was the first time I heard Ring of Honor uttered out of anybody's mouth inside the WWE. And when he said that, my jaw literally went. I literally was in utter shock that happened. And then CM Punk brought up John Laurinaitis. That when he brought up that name, my jaw dropped again. I was like, no one ever mentions John Laurinaitis. Not that I can recall in WWE. And Punk just, he took over the summer. No one can deny. That motherfucker took over the summer. And he was the most interesting person in wrestling, bar none. I was not a huge fan of Punk when he first came in. I was more of a fan of him once he turned heel, because it really showed more of how he could be when not watered down. Because usually when you're a face, you're watered down. We've seen that with Cena, because I know Cena has talent. It's just that he fucking water his ass down. But anyways, so Punk took over the summer. And when I saw Money in the Bank and saw that pay-per-view, I would say Money in the Bank was WWE's best pay-per-view in years. I think the last pay-per-view that was even close to that caliber was WrestleMania 24. And that's a WrestleMania, so. But that show, Money in the Bank, really gave me a lot of moments to watch. It wasn't one of those pay-per-views where, oh, CM Punk and John Cena is the only match to watch. You got 2 Money in the Banks on that fucking show. Christian and Orton was very good. It was a very good show. And it ended on a high note. Granted, they dropped the ball with the angle later on. And WWE just kind of went with the Triple H COO thing. The whole Kevin Nash bullshit. The whole, what else did they do that was so bad? Fucking up Divas at Doom. I already mentioned Karma in an earlier date. I don't even want to get into that again. R-Truth getting suspended. Nexus sucking, just as usual, although they're disbanded. They were horrible. Anyways. So, WWE has been on and off. ROH, I would have to say this was one of their more disappointing years. I was very interested when Eddie Edwards won the belt. I was there front row live when that fucking happened. And I'll tell you, the roof, people keep saying the wrong Wolf won. I was there. Bang down the computer. I was there. That motherfucker got the huge ass pop when he won that belt. No one was sitting the fuck down. I was not sitting the fuck down. I jumped out of my seat, screamed off the top of my head, not expecting him to win. But it wasn't one of those, huh? It was one of those holy shit moments. ROH did an awesome job giving him the belt at the right time. Because it's not like back if he would have won in 2009. In 2009, I would have been like, or even 2010, I would have been like, no, too early. No, this was the right time. And I even got pissed off when he lost the belt at Best in the World. I'm not saying Davey didn't deserve it. I think they gave it to Davey because they didn't want Davey to be like a Tyler Black type of deal where they waited too long to pull the trigger and then they finally give it to him and then nobody cares anymore. I think they wanted to give it to Davey while he was hot. Although, I don't think Davey would have fell into that category because I think people believe in Davey as being a badass. Because I've watched him live many times, and Davey is a true badass. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, he doesn't do anything for me as far as, like, emotional investment. I will admit, that motherfucker is badass. I wouldn't fuck with him, and I'm taller than the motherfucker. But anyways. So Ring of Honor has kind of been stale because they don't really have any marquee talent other than Kevin Steen. My two favorite talents in ROH is Eddie Edwards and Kevin Steen. Those are the two guys that I will support the company for bar none. So, I watch, I mean, ROH has kind of been on a dwindling downward spiral, and I have to call ROH out on it. I was at the last show, what was it, Final Battle, and I had fun in the first half. The first half was fun. I'm going to thank ROH for that. That first half was awesome. Arguing with R.D. Evans, Kevin Steen telling me that if I break the table, you could see it. I mean, you don't hear it, but you could see it if you've watched the iPay-per-view. You can visibly see him talking to me. He says, if you break this table, I'm going to eat your whole family alive. I was pissed that they didn't make that out, but, I mean, I'm the one that started the shut the fuck up chant to R.D. Evans, because you could vaguely hear me on that. Not to toot my own horn, but I've always been grateful to Ring of Honor when it comes to their live shows. I've always enjoyed myself. There's always something that I've enjoyed. And, yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed ROH Live, which maybe is why I have a bias for ROH. Because I go to the New York shows especially, live. And I always have the time of my life when I go there. And the last show, first half, I had the time of my life. Second half, But the first half, those motherfuckers made me feel like I was a part of the show. So, 2011's kind of been a year for ROH. Don't watch TNA anymore. I've completely cut ties with TNA. I try not to watch them at all. So, I can't really give you an opinion on TNA. Then you got the other indies. I've watched Evolve, and Evolve, it sucks to hear that the Ace Arena's gone. People need to understand that the Ace Arena was special to me. It was a shithole, but it was a special shithole, if that makes any sense. It's one of those shitholes where it has a special place right here. Because where it was located right across the street, or not even a block away from an IHOP and a McDonald's. And just that area in Union City. It just has that special feeling. And now there's going to be no more shows there, which sucks. What can you do? I went to Evolve 8 this year. Evolve 6 happened in 2010. Evolve 8 I went to, and that was the same day that, unfortunately, Macho Man Randy Savage passed away. And it was weird, because I had gotten a call. In fact, I'll talk about that. I had gotten a call at work while I was working on a warehouse. I was standing on a shelf, I'd say about maybe 30 feet in the air. And I didn't get a call. I got a text from my mom, because she knows I'm a huge wrestling fan. And she told me, or messaged me, that Macho Man had died. She had heard on somewhere that he had died. And she actually told me to keep her posted, because she said something about a car crash, but then we'd eventually find out the car crash actually had nothing to do with his death. It was a heart attack or heart disease or whatever. And it was weird going into Evolve knowing that Savage died, because I went with John, if anybody remembers him, my friend, and he was a big Savage fan. He was huge on Savage. And I'm not the biggest fan of Savage, but he was the guy that introduced me to wrestling. He was the first ever pro wrestler I ever knew about, Macho Man Randy Savage. So, I can't hate the guy. And he's had some classics. So, that's it for 2011 as far as wrestling. YouTube, been pretty boring. Been working on my call league. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description box. It's the YTCW official channel. And if you're confused with what's going on within storylines, I'll put another link to where my other storylines are. I've been doing that just for fun. It's fun. Taking YouTubers, let them emulate gimmicks in WWE, TNA, ROH, or their own original gimmicks, and let them fight out. I'm not the best booker in the world, but hey, it's fun. What can you do? I've been doing more of that. as of late. I work with Sunset Flip now, so a lot of my videos are on there because it's mandatory that I put videos on their YouTube channel. And speaking of which, I'm planning to go with the boss of that to the final 2 shows in the ECW arena, which is CZW and Evolve. So that should be fun. Yeah, so I work with them now. I've been working with them since October. And yeah, I mean, it's been a great opportunity with them, and I hope to continue to do more business with Sunset Flip. Now, YouTube, like I said, has been boring. We've all been making shoots on the YWC, and I think the reason why the YWC is the way it is because we don't want to debate with each other. I do it within comments, only because I'm just too lazy to pull out the camera. But I think if we had more arguing, or I shouldn't say arguing, because that'll make it seem like immature bullshit. But if we had more, like, disagreements with each other, hell, even a little bit of drama sprinkled onto it, just a little, I think that the community would be more interested. But another thing is we're clustered with so many people. I know people don't like hearing that, oh, what, I'm not allowed to make it. No, it's not that. It's just that there's so many on here. There's so many people on here that make videos about different things. I mean, the new people here would probably be making a lot of videos within 2012 because this is new to them. They've never done this before. Me, I've been doing this since late 2006. That's why you haven't seen a lot of videos come out of me. I've been doing it since late 2006. I literally had 200 some odd videos before it got deleted, maybe 300, if that, in 2007. And 2008 alone. I mean, I made so many videos. And back in 2007, I was jobless. I didn't have a job. So I had nothing better to do than to fucking watch wrestling and make videos. But now I have a job. So now I can afford to go to places. I can go to fucking Miami to go see The Rock versus John Cena live. Or the possibility of CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. That's why I haven't been making videos as much. And the whole me telling all of you to fuck off, that's a gimmick. If anybody thought that was serious, I mean that for the people that just take their time to just fucking leave comments, but to anybody out there, it's a gimmick for future references, just in case. But anyways, now we go into, that's why the IWC is the way it is, because we don't have, hell, I think one thing is, we don't have a heel. We don't have a real heel, per se. No, I'm not going to count Wrestling Jesus. I'm going to count more like along the lines of Kent Jones, or not even Kent Jones, because Kent Jones is more like Wrestling Jesus. I want to say RVD Tito for Life. What made RVD Tito for Life so hated is that they loved the shit out of TNA and bashed WWE. I thought they were the better heels because they weren't even trying to be bad guys. They were just guys that went on the video, loved TNA. They weren't trying to get attention. That's the way it is. And they were really hated back then. And that's why I thought they were the better suiting for a heel, because they didn't try to be, they were just giving their opinions. When you force yourself to be, granted, I say fuck off to everybody, but that's just the way it is. And I've met Bill before. I've met him at Glory Bound 09 last year. He's a good guy. Can't complain about Bill. But, yeah. So, now we get on to 2012. What's in store for 2012? Okay. Well, obviously I'm going to Miami. I think that's going to be a better trip than Atlanta was. Part of Atlanta's problem was the environment there. It was just, it was a complete shithole compared to Phoenix. Phoenix was out open, you had to drive to the next place to get to wherever you needed to go. And it was special. There was a special feeling in Phoenix that just made it so more than life, if you want to call it that. Atlanta, Georgia felt like fucking the diet version of New York City. And if I want fucking New York City, I can just get on a bus right the fuck now and get into New York City as we speak. I'm not that far. I can go to New York City anytime I want. But Georgia just felt like a downgraded version of New York City, and it just sucked, that area. And this year it's going to be in Miami, or 2012, and I think it's going to be a better environment. Uh, Obviously, all of us on the trip learned from our mistakes from Atlanta, and we're going to try and not make them again. So we're going to go to Miami and have some fun. And we're going to see Rock versus Cena live. I think WWE is making a huge mistake by making this a face versus face thing, because obviously The Rock's going to get more of the support than Cena is. So I think they should make it more of a heel versus face, even if Cena's only heel temporarily till this feud is over. That's just how I feel. So yeah, and we've got ROH again getting with their 10th anniversary. This is going to be their 10th year in existence. And I've only been watching them since 2007. So this would be my 5th year watching Ring of Honor. And I mean, I know people like the thumbs down videos because there's mention of Ring of Honor. Well, I've critiqued Ring of Honor. I think it's stale right now. I don't think they really have any marquee talent. There's, with the exception of Steen and Eddie Edwards. I mean, they got Carino, they got all that. But I think they need to really get some more uniqueness. And they're trying that with Michael Elgin right now. They brought in TJ Perkins just recently, which is good because I like TJ's work. So we should keep in watch with Ring of Honor and see what they do for 2012. Hopefully it'll be better than 2011. But I still love them, only because just because they weren't as good as the previous years doesn't mean they were horrible. They just weren't as good. ROH still was, compared to the other two products, TNA and WWE, actually I can't judge TNA, but I preferred Ring of Honor over WWE. There's only 2 months I preferred WWE over Ring of Honor, and that was the Punk angle. But I'm still a big fan of Ring of Honor. I still love going to the live shows. And I will admit, there was some TNA booking on Final Battle. There was some TNA booking on Final Battle. So, when it came to the Briscoes and World's Greatest Tag Team match. But, they have not gone to the point where they've insulted me as a fan, like TNA has. So that's why I haven't turned my back against ROH. I've said to myself, they're just having a stale year. We'll see where it goes from here. They haven't insulted me yet, not that I know of. They haven't gone out and said, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, this, that, and the other. Like I said, I'm a big supporter of ROH. There's a big stack of DVDs over there of ROH. There's a bucket there of ROH DVDs. There's one over there, one over there. Well, not all ROH. There's WWE, old TNA, and old Indies, and all that, but let's see what 2012 holds. Because now we've got The Rock versus Cena, the big match. Zack Ryder is the U.S. champion. Daniel Bryan's the world champion. We'll see where he goes from there. He's probably not going to last long, this champ. I mean, anything can change. Anything can fucking change. Because, put it this way, and I'm going to end the video on this note, because this is how crazy wrestling can be. If you would have take a DeLorean, gone back in time, right after I just got out of WrestleMania 26, right after, and you would have told me that The Miz was going to be the WWE champion heading into WrestleMania 27, being the main event, the headlining match on that show, and he was going to win, I would have looked at you straight in the face. That version of me would have looked at you straight in the face and said, you're out of your fucking mind. Because also think that WrestleMania 26, Alberto Del Rio wasn't heard of. And then the very next year, he was in the world title match. Granted, the opener, but he was in the world title match. Keep that in mind. Anyways, let's have a good 2012. Hopefully the world won't end. And talk to you later.